What's poppin', y'all? This is Elijah here, and let me be the first to welcome you to the UberLifestyle.com. There are many questions surrounding Uber in general. How do you be an Uber driver? How do you be an Uber passenger? How do you pick up people? How do you accept a ride? How do you request a ride? All kinds of questions. Think of this as your one-stop shop to get all the questions you need answered, as well as staying up to date on various techniques and information you can use to be successful with Uber, no matter what you're trying to do. In this video, we're going to be covering a pretty pressing topic because a lot of people sign up to drive for Uber, but don't actually accept their first ride until like 2 or 3 weeks later. You wonder why is that? It's really the unknown. So in this video, I'm going to cover 10 things that new rideshare drivers should do before they even hit the road, and maybe even in the first trips of hitting their road. That way it gives a learning curve, a much smoother process, and everything remains stress-free, and you can earn that money. Number 1, this should go without saying, but take a ride as a passenger. I mean, Uber is a great service, it's very convenient. Why not take advantage of it yourself? Especially if you live in a city where the parking is just trash. Not saying any major cities, by the way. But seriously, take a ride as a passenger. Everything has two sides to it, the driver and the passenger side. So experience that passenger side. See how it actually is to request a ride when you get in the car, visually see everything on the app. Then you can kind of get a passenger's perspective as far as what they like and what they don't like, and you can adjust your driver experience based on that situation. As an Uber passenger, you gotta admit, there's nothing more annoying than telling that your Uber driver has never been a passenger before. You can tell. Trust me, when you've been around the block for a little while, you're gonna know exactly what I'm talking about. Number 2, make sure you set your navigation before you take your first trip and get on the road. This gets me all the time. But when I take Uber as a passenger, I am shocked to see that they are using the Uber navigation system. Whatever you do, don't use that system. Passengers don't like it. After driving for a little while, you're not gonna like it either. Just go to the settings and change it to a third-party app. The most popular apps out there are Waze and Google Maps. We actually have a full article where we explain the benefits and the pros and cons of Google Maps and Waze, as well as how to change your settings. Just make sure you do. Both you and your passenger will greatly appreciate it. Number 3, make sure you have some kind of mile tracker app. A lot of people get involved in this rideshare thing. They're like, great, I can literally turn the app on when I want to make money. Guess what? When tax time comes around, they end up getting hit with a big bill. Keeping track of your mileage will literally cut your tax bill and tax liability in half. I personally use the Stride app. That's a free app that tracks your mileage as long as you remember to turn the button on when you begin a trip or when you just begin driving in general. Then shut it off when you're finished and keeps track of everything for you. There's different services out there. You can go with the Mile IQ app. There's all of them out there. I'm just recommending Stride because it's one I personally use, and it is a free option if you cannot start with anything else. Number 4, make sure you are filled up on gas before you hit the road. I mean, imagine if you're taking an Uber and your Uber driver pulls over to get gas. I'd be pretty freaking annoyed, wouldn't I? I mean, it's not much, it's 20 cents per minute, which, that's nothing. But it's still the principle, like, hey homie, you are taking up my time right now. If you stop and get gas while someone's in your car, you're pretty much gonna be guaranteed a 1 star. Just be courteous and fill up in between trips. If you're running low, hey, just go ahead and turn the app off for a sec, get your gas, then keep it moving. Number 5, make sure you pick up the right rider. I know some of y'all, they get started like, how the hell could you not pick up the right rider? But it might be your first time or first few times. Someone hops in your car and like, oh, hey. And then you just start the trip and then you drive off. You keep going and then they realize that this dude's gonna bother with where I'm going. Hey, you know where I'm going, dude, right? Yeah, you're going to the other side of town you get into the airport? No, I'm going to the north side of town to my house. Then you realize you picked up the wrong rider. Before anyone gets in your car, roll down the window and confirm the name that you have on your app. Then when you start the trip, confirm the address. I know this is fairly simple, but nerves get the best of you the first time. It's all right. Just make sure you get those 2 confirmations, and then you'll be on your way. Number 6, just ignore the back-to-back trips. Now, a back-to-back trip is basically when Uber sends you another request before you finish your current one. That request that you're receiving is going to be in the immediate area around your passenger drop-off, and it keeps you in activity. That's fine and all, but when I first got started, I would actually just ignore them. Because you need to get used to having people in your backseat and getting used to using the Uber navigation and whatever navigation you're using, or the Uber app rather. If you are taking those back-to-back trips, that puts a little too much stress on you at first. Master those 3 things, and then you can start taking those back-to-back trips. If you want to, you can stop the back-to-back trips altogether by clicking on the Stop New Request. That way they'll stop coming in for a while. Number 7, ignore Uber pool trips. Now, I'm in the Dallas-Fort Worth market, and we don't have Uber pool here. Thank fucking God. Did I say that out loud? But seriously, just if Uber pool's in your market, just ignore them for your first few runs. I would say your first 50 runs. Whatever guarantee that you're on when you signed up, finish those first before you even consider Uber pool. Because you're going to be dealing with multiple passengers in your car. Remember, you want to master using the Uber app, your navigation, whatever that is, and getting used to having a stranger in your car. Once you get those things mapped out, then you can think about adding Uber pool and those kind of things. But initially, it puts way too much stress on you. You can tell if it's an Uber pool or Uber X request coming in. Before you tap accept, it's going to say Uber pool or Uber X. If it says Uber pool, just let it go or click the no thanks. Number 8, be a social observer. What do I mean by that? If a person gets in your car, their eyes are glued to their smartphone, and then they answer your questions with yes or no, etc., that's a sign that they probably don't want to talk. And don't take it personal. I mean, they're probably just a more introverted person. They may be tired. It's a number of things. It's not a reflection on you. Other people, they might want to sit in the front seat with you and have a conversation. Day's going great. Hey, by all means, indulge them in their conversation. Just don't, say anything offensive or talk about sensitive subjects. I'm not going to get into what a sensitive subject is. But if they don't want to talk, realize it's not a reflection on you. Not everyone is going to want to talk or have a conversation. It's just they might be having a bad day. Not a reflection on you. Keep it friendly, keep it professional. And if it is a reflection on you, they have a problem with someone saying hi or whatever, well then, f*** them. Number 9, don't drive the bar rush. Now, what we call the bar rush is between 10 p.m. and 2 a.m. That's when bars start closing down and people are bar hopping from one bar to another, or they're catching the ride home because they're too a little tipsy to drive, etc. You don't want to get caught in that crowd when you first get started. There's going to be multiple people, crowds of people looking for their Uber drivers, and you got to know how to deal with that situation accordingly. That's something you build up to. Master everything we talked about up to this point as far as passengers being in your car, your Uber app, whatever navigation you're going to use. Then maybe you take a look at the bar rush later, because there's going to be a bunch of Uber drivers, a bunch of passengers. It's a scavenger hunt to find who is matched up with who. And last but damn sure not least, or number 10, be at least a little familiar with your local airports. Most markets have some kind of airport and people are Ubering to the airport. Now you need to know some general information about your airport, like obviously how to get there, to be somewhat familiar with your terminals, etc. And you don't have to learn it all at once. It can always be piece by piece, but just be a little familiar, very general information, because your passengers are going to expect you to know that much. Then as you do them more and more, you'll get more comfortable and you'll realize, hey, this is how you go here, 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 etc. Start with some general information. If you don't know any general information about your local airport, you might want to visit them before you actually get on the road. And there you have it. Those are the 10 things that new rideshare drivers should go ahead and do before they officially get started. It makes the whole process go more smooth and it just makes everything relaxing once you master these things. Gives you a strong foundation. That covers it for this video. If you haven't done so already, go to www.theuberlifestyle.com. There's various information and videos there, just like you're watching here, that can help you be successful and maximize your income as an Uber driver. This is Elijah. If you got any questions, feel free to contact me. Peace out.